Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. This is the Corona Diaries number 88. My name is Rivers Langley. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. In just a second here, we're going to be hearing from our friend Andy Sell. Andy is a hilarious comedian. He is also the host of the podcast Ghoul School, which has some new episodes that are going to be coming out very, very soon. Very excited about that. And speaking of ghouls, Andy and I, if you were already a part of our Patreon, patreon.com/thegoodspod, you already heard me and Andy talking this past weekend about the incredible Japanese horror film Suicide Club. So get over on the Patreon if you haven't done so already. But at the very least, you're going to hear Andy and I chatting in this episode about his recent move to Minneapolis, as well as, of course, some, we got your zany-ass local news stories and all that good stuff we'll be riffing on in just a moment. Then after that, I'll be joined by, the rest of the panel, Sam and Daniel. We'll get them in there, and we'll be chatting about a bunch of stuff that y'all have sent us, actually. We get a lot of very nice messages on Twitter of people being like, hey, here's the thing y'all should talk about. And so the second half of this episode is basically just us clearing the mailbox and going through and chatting about a few stories that you guys brought to our attention. Up top, before we get into this episode, I was just going to mention this. I've been plugging this at the end of the show, but here I am plugging it at the top of the show. We're trying to elect my friend Ian Dent coroner in Richmond, Indiana. And so to do that, I am putting together a fundraiser on Zoom. That is going to be taking place Saturday, October the 3rd. So that is this coming Saturday. It's going to be at twitch.tv/holdthephonecomedy. That is the kind of online arm of the Hot Tub with Kurt and Kristen show, a live show here in LA that's hosted by Kurt Brownohler and Kristen Shaw. They've been nice enough to lend us their kind of cyberspace, their infrastructure, and also their person who runs the show, who actually knows what he's doing. So shout out to Jake Brown for making this happen. But yeah, if you got some money laying around, we're gonna have a Venmo, and we're gonna try to raise some money and get Ian elected. The lineup is absolutely insane. We've got my friend Roy Wood Jr., who I think I've probably talked about on this program a couple of times. Roy is one of the funniest comedians, not just, currently. I mean, he's an all-time. I really do think that. I'm not just saying that because I know the guy and, we share a home state and stuff like that. Roy is fucking amazing. So he's going to be headlining along with Gareth Reynolds from The Dollop. The Dollop has legitimately been my favorite podcast for about 5 years running now. It is one of the few podcasts that I never miss an episode. And Gareth and obviously, Dave, too. Man, they do incredible work over there at that show, and we're so happy to have Gareth on the lineup. Jackie Cation, she is a veteran comedian, one of the funniest people in LA, and of course she is the co-host of the Jackie and Laurie show with Laurie Kilmartin, and she is also the host of her own show, The Dork Forest, which is so cool that she's taken time out to do this. Brandy Posey, co-host of the Lady to Lady podcast, she's going to be joining us on that show, as well as Anna Valenzuela, another one of my very close friends. We're so excited to have her. She has been on Roast Battle on Comedy Central, and you might know her from her podcast 12 Questions. And if you haven't listened to 12 Questions, I'm on an episode from a couple months back. So if you like this show, check out my episode of 12 Questions, and then maybe check out the rest of them. And then last but certainly not least, motherfucking Keith Carey. Keith Carey is going to be on that show. Man, what is there to say about Keith Carey? I guarantee 99.9% of the people listening to this program know who the fuck Keith Carey is. He is the former co-host of the late great Mean Boys podcast. Keith Carey also appeared on Roast Battle on Comedy Central. Just one of the funniest motherfuckers ever. So this lineup is stupid. It's fucking stupid how good it is. And we're doing it for a good cause. Come and enjoy the comedy, and if you got some bucks laying around, toss it our way. But yeah, this is, again, Roy Wood Jr., Gareth Reynolds, Jackie Cation, Brandy Posey, Anna Valenzuela, Keith Carey. That is a 5-star lineup in any town in this country, and it's all to help elect my friend Ian Dent. Like I said last time, if you enjoy comedy and human dignity, join us, twitch.tv/holdthephonecomedy. That's going to be Saturday, October 3rd. That's this coming Saturday. And the fun will start at 5 p.m. West Coast time. That's 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Join us there. I think that's all the housekeeping I've got to do. And now, do you hear the phone ringing? Calling in from the Twin Cities, Andy Sell. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm twinny and city-y.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you again. Everybody who is already signed up over at the Patreon just heard we dropped an episode, you and me talking about Suicide Club over there. Had one of the best. I mean, the more I've thought about it, and I went back and listened to it while we were editing. I was like, damn, man, we just had a good old time. That was a good combo.
That was good. That was good and fun, and we got to talk about an interesting movie that I don't feel like gets talked about a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if you've not already, patreon.com/thegoodspod, go sign up and listen to me and Andy Sell talk about that for damn near 2 hours. But we're here to talk about you, man. How is things? You are when did you relocate to Minneapolis?
End of July, beginning of August. We were actually packing up on my 40th birthday.
Whoa! Okay,
we were packing everything up, and then so I've been here. We've been here for almost 2 months now.
And how was the drive from LA to Minneapolis?
Fucking nightmare, man.
Yeah,
so we got no sleep the night before we left town, and in fact, we were woken up that morning by the earthquake, by the 4 point whatever.
Oh shit! What a way to go!
Earthquake, yeah, that was LA saying goodbye to us.
Wow.
And we got no sleep. We got woken up by an earthquake. Then we packed all day, and then we left like at 8:00 or something that night. And so we did that whole first leg of the drive through. I don't know if you've ever driven between LA and say St. George, Utah, but that whole LA to Vegas stretch is a nightmare. At night, It's just people going 90 miles an hour and like the trucks, and it's night, so I'm already agitated. I didn't get any sleep. It was very stressful. It's like a Thursday night too, I think. So it was like lots of drunk assholes who were just like, fuck it, let's go to Vegas. Even though there's a pandemic on, we don't care.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of kind of planning my strategy because I'm planning to go back to Alabama around Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to take a plane because I feel like right now, the airplanes, from what I've heard, are fairly, for the most part, as chill as they can possibly be, as far as people distancing and stuff. But I feel like when there's that much money on the table for holiday travel, that is going to go away in the end of November.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like there's like certain things too. There's like certain things this whole time, ever since March when we went into this, there's been certain days you can look at on the horizon to be like, people aren't going to give a shit about the rules then. Like Labor Day.
Yeah.
Or not even Memorial Day was the first big one, right? Where it's like, no, these assholes are going to be out on the fucking lakes. Nobody cares.
It's what I call the big water park days are going to be an issue.
Yeah, the water park days. I think 4th of July had similar things in most states. Like Sturgis. People went to
oh, yeah.
We were actually going to drive through. We were going to stay in South Dakota just because we figured it'd be safer to drive through South Dakota than to go through, Nebraska, Iowa, and up that way. And it would be quicker too. But like there was no hotel rooms under $200 a night in South Dakota. And I think it's because of Sturgis, because it was around the same time that we left.
Oh my God.
Also, like the drive through the mountains, the Rocky Mountains, is never okay. Like never. And we did that at night too, which was a nightmare. Just like white knuckling it the whole way, and it started raining.
Oh shit! Yeah.
when we were doing that, and it was and those roads are bad. It was just a bad time. And then like we went through my hometown, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Just to because I wanted to show it to my partner Taylor. I wanted her to see, where I grew up and everything. And then 4 days later, the derecho hit.
Oh, shit.
And just leveled my hometown.
Jesus. Wow. Yeah, right now, like I said, I'm kind of in the middle of strategizing how I'm going to do it exactly. And right now my plan is to go first thing in the morning the day I leave to Dodger Stadium and get a COVID test.
Yeah.
And those usually, they turn those around in about 24 hours in LA. And so I'm just going to start driving and hope, if it comes back positive, then obviously I got to go back. But I'm gonna hope that while I'm on my drive east, that I'll get that text saying I'm all clear, and then that way I just know, like, all right, I'm gonna just go to gas stations, fill up the car. I'm gonna sleep in the car in like a Walmart parking lot somewhere, because I've done that before, because I'm a real piece of trash. And then make my way down to Alabama. But I am a little bit. Because I've just heard some horror stories about, particularly in the red states, of people looking at you when you're wearing a goddamn mask in the grocery store, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to. I'm too California to put up with that shit now, man. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't deal with your bullshit. I just can't. So
yeah, most of the rest areas that we went to, like in the states where they give a shit, are good and clean and nice. I don't know. Mostly it was fine.
That makes me feel better.
I mean, who knows? Who knows what it's going to be like after the election, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah. My God. Well, yeah.
Like you might be driving to Alabama. Like there might be a new border up. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that, actually. Well, wait. Which one are we gonna? I don't know. I feel like if people keep talking about this civil war, the impending civil war kind of thing, and I think what a lot of people don't understand is that like this isn't going to be like a North-South civil war.
No,
this isn't going to be like a Democrat Republican civil war. This is gonna like it's gonna be like the Spanish Civil War, man. Like it's gonna be like a million different factions.
Right.
I feel like there's gonna be like 7 different zones. That are all like bordering each other.
Yeah, it's gonna be what do they call it? Balkanization.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be like the Czech Republic, fucking 1994 going on.
Yeah. Which I got a passport. I'm okay to live in the independent city-state of Los Angeles. That's fine.
Yeah,
it's cool. I'll keep my passport. I can go visit Alabama at some point, assuming relations have normalized in the next 20 years after the Civil War.
I'm just hoping Canada just annexes Minnesota. I'm just like,
you're
just extend the border just southward just for this state.
Yeah, we chatted about Canada. My friend Richard Eden, who's based out of the Yukon, we had him on the last show, and they only had in the biggest city in the Yukon, which is called Whitehorse, which I think has about 30,000 people. They had 15 COVID cases, and everybody recovered.
Wow.
And so now it's so far up there that they're essentially completely isolated. So not that many people are coming and going to the town. So they're just masks off, out and about, shit's normal. They're doing comedy, like it's back. And I'm like, so fucking jealous. I'm like, dude, so they seem to be a nation of adults, which is inspiring.
Wow, that's insane. Could you imagine living in a country full of adults?
It was so funny talking to Richard, because he was like, you're supposed to have a mask on in the grocery store, but I went in there and no one had one, so I just kind of took mine off, which to my American ears sounds like, damn, man, that's kind of fucked. And then he...
Yeah, you got pod person.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm like, man, you shouldn't do that. You got to respect the people around you. But it's like, no, they respected the people around them when this started. And now, as a reward, they get to just live their lives. So...
Wow.
Yeah, man. I am jealous that you get to be that close to Canada up there.
I don't know. I'm like new. That's the other thing, is we moved to a new city in a new state during a pandemic, so we can't even really get to know the place we moved to. It's like,
right.
I know some of the restaurants. I actually went for a walk in the cemetery. We talked about this.
Yeah,
I found out Hubert Humphrey is buried in the graveyard near our place. Which was a special treat.
That's what they say about Minneapolis, is like, the two most biggest party places are of course Paisley Park, where Prince used to live, and Hubert Humphrey's grave. Those are the two biggest party hotspots.
They've had to really enforce the mask mandate at Hubert Humphrey's grave. There's too many. You know how it is. People have a few, they knock back a few, they get wild, the masks come off, people are fucking on Hubert Humphrey's grave. It's a whole
Oh my God, yeah. In memory of Hubert Humphrey. Do you know about do you know about that? The Allman Brothers song, In Memory of Elizabeth Reed? Do you know the story behind that?
No.
So it's this instrumental song, and now if you listen to it knowing what I'm about to tell you, it makes a lot of sense, because, you know, the name of the song is In Memory of Elizabeth Reed, and there was always this like, oh, who the hell is Elizabeth Reed? It was in the cemetery in Macon. There was a grave, a huge cement grave that had like a very kind of easy curve to it, and the teenagers would go there and have sex on Elizabeth Reed's grave.
Oh yeah, it's a good fucking grave. It's got the right kind of level for it.
And so that's what that song is supposed to be. It's an instrumental, but it kind of starts off a little spooky, you know? It's like, oh, you're going into the graveyard, and then by the end, it is just like a pulsating, you know, kind of fucking song, and you're like, oh, all right, In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. So, you know, the Minneapolis version of that is Hubert Humphrey, you know?
Yeah, I never wanted to be buried, but now I kind of do. Like, I kind of like,
yeah.
You know, give me give me a good fucking grave. You know?
Yeah. I'll take the stone. You know, I could take or leave. I want to be made into a coral reef. I want one of those. You know, those kind of things where they mix your ashes into cement and make you an artificial reef.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Or just you know, bury me in the woods. No coffin. No embalming. Nothing. Just let me give me the Luke Perry got buried in a thing called a mushroom suit.
I'm sorry. A what?
A mushroom suit, which is a thing that I think his daughter helped to invent at, it was either Stanford or MIT, one of them smart schools, where it's basically a thing you can be buried in that turns, it's like a kind of a mesh thing covered in mushroom spores, and it turns your body into a mushroom feeding factory. So they just put you in the ground, and then mushrooms just start growing all over the forest and stuff.
What kind of mushrooms are we talking about here?
I think it's dealer's choice, I'd assume,
Can you get some of the psilocybin magic fun time?
Oh yeah, or shiitake or portobello.
Would you imagine can you imagine like, hey man, you got some mushrooms? Yeah, these are fucking Luke Perry specials.
You could have a business in Colorado with that, I bet. Man.
Yeah. Wow, I'd never heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's that was one of those when he died. There was just like that was a minor detail at the bottom. It was like he'll be buried in a mushroom suit that his daughter helped to invent. I was like, what? And then I read up about it. I was like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. So
that's pretty rad.
Yeah, I'm down with the mushroom suit. Well, I've been asking everybody, my two golden quarantine questions. Have your neighbors been doing anything weird?
Not that I can tell. Like, somebody complained, I think, about us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I don't know if it was the person below us complaining. Now I'm like talking quietly because I'm like, oh shit, I don't want them to hear me. But I guess it was like noise after quiet hours or whatever, which would have probably just been if I dropped something, or maybe the hardwood floors are squeakier than I thought. I don't know. I've never had this much room in a place to move around in, because I've lived in Los Angeles for 13 fucking years.
Right.
So like this apartment is like palatial, and it's like old, and it's nice. So I don't know, like maybe I'm moving around too much to take too much advantage of it. So I don't know if they complained about us or if it was somebody complaining about somebody else. I don't know the details.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. I haven't really seen any of my new neighbors. So in LA, before we left, they were all leaving. So that because everyone is leaving that city.
That's happening here.
Because the industry is done.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I maybe that was it. I haven't noticed anything too weird.
Oh wait, actually, I can ask this. Didn't you used to live next door to Dave Stone?
I did, and Ryan Singer.
And Ryan Singer. So you've had, before COVID, in the past, two of the strangest neighbors imaginable.
They're weird guys. I mean, Dave was actually pretty normal.
Yeah, well, I think, living in a van, you learn to be real low-key because you don't want people to notice you.
Yeah, you have to learn to kind of ferret your weirdness away.
Yeah, you got to be unnassuming so people aren't like, hey, that guy lives in that van. We should call the cops.
Yeah. You got to develop some skills.
But Singer, you live next door to the Mad Wizard of LA comedy. My God.
The fucking The Aleister Crowley of the Los Angeles comedy scene.
Yeah, I'm still very prone at Christmas time. Anytime I see a gingerbread milkshake on a menu of any kind, his insane. I don't even know if it's a joke. It's just a thing that he would chant. He would chant gingerbread milkshake until the entire audience was laughing, and it was like watching magic happen. It was insane.
So he used to like he loves milkshakes.
Yeah,
that's real. Like that's not like he would like sometimes at weird hours be like, "Do you want to go get milkshakes?" And of course, I always wanted to go get milkshakes with Ryan. Ryan's great.
Yeah.
Went up the mountain a few times with him.
Oh, yeah.
That was the other thing, man. I missed that apartment building was shitty for a lot of reasons, but we did have Brand Park, and the Verdugo Mountains were like right there. So it was it was kind of amazing to just get to walk up a mountain whenever I wanted.
God, did y'all live there when there was the big fire on the Verdugos?
Yeah, that was rough because the path I used to take up those mountains too is a road now. I mean, it was a road after because I had to use the paths to get the vehicles up.
Yeah. My God. Well, and the other question I've been asking folks is, did you see anything weird at the grocery store?
I had noticed a weird disparity in the things that are missing. You know, from different places. Like we in LA, I don't know what the hot item is now. What the missing item? What's the item you can't get at grocery stores right now?
Easy. Clorox disinfectant spray with bleach.
Wow. Okay. So here there's plenty of that. But there's no fucking paper towels.
Oh, see, we're swapped. We got paper towels everywhere.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, and I remember when we first got here, it was soap.
Yeah.
Soap was the thing you couldn't find, but there was something in LA we could wipes. You couldn't find wipes in LA, but here they were all over the goddamn place.
Wow.
It's weird how I wonder if we can get like a state swap thing going.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. I don't, we've got Windex and like normal non-bleach sprays, but I'm always like, damn, where's the Clorox? And it seems like zero stores have it ever.
Yeah.
I wanted to share one brief news story with you, Andy, and this one is from Provo, Utah. You might have driven through, you mentioned Utah. You might have driven through this area on the way there. I'm not sure.
I don't think we did it on this trip, but I have been through Provo, Utah before. There's a Taco Bell outside of Provo, Utah, where I ordered a thing with no meat. And they looked at me like I had just gotten off a spaceship. The cook from the back of the Taco Bell came out front to the counter to specify no meat.
He was just like, what?
Because he thought he had been told wrong by the person taking the order.
Which is so funny because Taco Bell is like, that's the vegetarian fast food place.
Right? I wanted to be like, have no fucking like punk bands been through here?
Yeah, what do the SLC punks eat?
Yeah, where's Matthew Lillard?
Yeah, so this is from Provo, Utah, and you know it's going to be good when you get all three names. Bryce Gerald Dixon.
Whoa, and those are three powerful names. Those are not innocent bystander names.
No.
Those are the names of a character. And it's three different characters put together for one.
Bryce Gerald Dixon is accused of theft of a vehicle and 3 attempts to escape from official custody after he returned a red pickup truck that he later told police he needed so that he could, quote, get to the Coliseum to get on a flight with alien diplomats.
I'm sorry. I don't know where to begin. The Coliseum?
Yeah, I guess.
That's not a travel hub.
I think he was thinking, well, it's round and UFOs are round, so naturally
Which
they'll be.
Coliseum are we talking? Are we talking the Roman Coliseum or in LA? Are we talking about the USC Sports Coliseum?
I assume it must be some local basketball stadium, like a venue of some kind, because it doesn't specify. It just says the Coliseum. I don't know. I hadn't even considered the possibility that he meant the Roman Coliseum, but maybe so. Maybe
that's the first place my mind went, because the two of the greatest fight scenes in history were filmed in the Roman Coliseum. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman versus Mickey Rourke and two tigers.
Yeah.
In the movie Double Team.
Fuck yeah.
And, of course, Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee in Way of the Dragon. So my mind just always goes to that one.
Well, and also the movie Gladiator, and by extension, the music video for that 30-odd Foot of Grunts song that Russell Crowe also filmed in the Coliseum. So there's been some great battles, both physical and emotional, in the Coliseum. So
he's meeting, alien diplomats.
Yeah. That was what he said, is that,
And they couldn't send a limo? He needed the truck for that?
I guess so. So, according to court documents, Dixon intended to drive the truck all the way to the Coliseum, but felt bad for stealing the truck, so he returned to the 7-Eleven that he took it from to give it back. The owner was still at 7-Eleven when he came back. And then my favorite line in this whole thing, it says, the suspect was taken to a hospital for an injury sustained when the truck driver punched him in the face. So he was gonna meet the aliens, and then halfway to meeting the aliens was like, man, I feel bad, dude. I can't do this.
The aliens are this is gonna represent me poorly to the aliens. They're not gonna want to work with me after I show up in this stolen truck.
I mean, with the diplomats, they're diplomatic. I need to be be more diplomatic in my behavior.
These aren't alien outlaws he's meeting. These are official aliens that have been given a responsibility of outreach. You can't just show up in a stolen pickup. Maybe it was because he thought the pickup wasn't nice enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was like, oh, yeah, this is too shitty. This is like a Dodge Ram from '98. I need a...
Yeah, he's like, oh, shit, this doesn't even have an extended cab. Yeah. The aliens are going to think I'm a joke.
It's just got a bench seat, and I can only fit 2 aliens in here. And one of them's going to have to ride Lucky Pierre. No way, man. They're not going to like that. But yeah, he felt bad. And he went back to the 7-Eleven, and the guy whose truck he stole, which, by the way, the guy left the truck running with the keys in it, and it's like, listen, buddy,
that's a free truck.
That's a free truck.
There's no crime committed here.
Don't leave your truck running with the keys in it at 7-Eleven anywhere. That's just common sense.
Yeah, especially when there's alien diplomats in town at the Coliseum. You can't.
Didn't you read about the alien diplomats coming to town? What are you doing?
So then he punches him in the face for bringing the truck back.
The guy's on the phone, I guess, with the cops being like, hey, they stole my truck. I have no idea how he got it. And then
I want to hear that call. I want to hear the recording of that call. Like, oh shit, my truck's back.
Uh-oh. And then the guy pulls back in and he hit him. Once in hospital care, police said Dixon tried to slip past officers 3 times. So this is the scene that you don't see enough in movies, and that's the fucking wily criminal trying to escape being handcuffed to a hospital bed, because it's inherently hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, escaping...
You know who I see, for some reason, the guy who played Dewey Crow on Justified.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time and in Mindhunter. Like, I see that actor in this role.
Yeah. That's the footage I want to see, is the security footage of him. I'm sure he wasn't, but in my head, it's way funnier if he's in one of those hospital gowns that doesn't have a back, it's just tied up. So it's just him in that thing and his bare ass is hanging out. And he's trying to tiptoe past all the cops.
Yeah, like sneaking by against the wall at one point, but then like the next time he does it, he's like somehow like held the back of it and he's like standing up straight and like maybe has fashioned himself a hat and he like salutes the cops to be like, I'm one of you, gentlemen, at ease.
They say that at the hospital, Dixon allegedly apologized to police and told them that the aliens needed him to get to the Coliseum.
So you don't understand. I'm not a crazy person. Do you think I would be here if it weren't important? I'm not. I don't just steal trucks. This is very important. I'm not crazy. I
have to get to the Coliseum now.
I have to get to the Coliseum, and look, there's only so much time. I haven't had lunch. I need to eat before I get there, and I don't know if I'm going to go to the Popeyes or the Jack in the Box.
Oh, God.
I can't go to the Taco Bell because the last time I said no meat, they looked at me like I was an alien, and I was like, no, I have to meet an alien. Which do you prefer? The Popeyes has the better chicken sandwich, but the Jack in the Box has those tacos, and I want to kind of have some tacos to give to the aliens so they can see, hey, this is Earth. They have chicken sandwiches, burgers, curly fries, and tacos,
all under one roof at Jack in the Box. Yeah,
they don't have Jack in the Box in Utah, do they?
I think they do. I think it's kind of a West Coasty type thing. It's weird. You know what's weird? It's a West Coasty type thing, and then also North Carolina. Weirdest shit ever.
What?
Yeah. My buddy who lives in Charlotte was saying like they got them there, and that's the only place like on the East Coast really that still has them is North Carolina.
Yeah, because they were national, right?
And then everybody got
the whole
E. coli. Yeah.
Tainted food business.
Yep. And they made their comeback in a pretty genius way, which is to at least all of the restaurants that were under Jack in the Box, like that weren't franchises, that were directly under the control of the company. They shuttered all of the restaurants that weren't near like college campuses and high schools, and then they made the burgers so cheap that you couldn't not get them if you were in college. And that was how they made their comeback. Was they were like, all right, we'll shut down everything in rich neighborhoods, and then we'll keep it near where all the college students and poor people live, and then we'll make it so it's like 2 burgers for $1. And people are like, well, I can't afford to not eat here. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, genius.
And that's why the aliens are here.
You know what's funny is Auburn has Beard Eves Memorial Coliseum, and so I grew up in a city with a place that we referred to as the Coliseum, and it didn't seem weird. And now that I'm reading this, you're right. It's got to be the Roman Colosseum because the word is capitalized, and it did. And that element of the story didn't even hit me funny until you said it. And I was like, oh my God, he actually meant he was going to try to drive to Rome, which is.
Well, now I'm starting to think like, what's the name of where the Utes play?
Well, I looked up the Jazz's because they used to have a place called the Salt Dome that was the basketball coliseum.
Yeah,
and that's gone, and now all of the basketball arenas in this area, as far as I know, actually hit us up at _Tom Sherlock. Hit us up. I know you're a Utah guy and you listen to the show. Maybe there's an alternate explanation for this. Maybe there's a coliseum we don't know about. But best I could tell, all of the kind of basketball arenas all have like corporate sponsor names. It's like the such and such, whatever, like the goddamn soccer field in LA that's called like the Dignity Health Center or whatever.
Jesus Christ.
It's named for a health insurance company. Yeah. So anyway, but that's so funny that the guy's like, well, all I need to get to Rome, F-250, baby.
Yeah, those go underwater, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
They fly. No, they fly. That's the one with it's an extra feature, obviously.
Yeah, my God. Well, this was fun as hell, man. Andy, please tell people where they can find you on the internet.
Oh, don't find me. I don't want to be found. That's why I'm here. That's why I left LA. I don't want at Andy_sell SELL, as in sell me that car outside the 7-Eleven. I won't steal it. Just sell it to me. I have a very important meeting with some alien diplomats in Rome.
Well, yeah, definitely give Andy a follow and check out his podcast, Ghoul School, all about the history of horror movies.
Yes, there's going to be some more episodes coming very soon.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And also, of course, if you've not already, go over to patreon.com/thegoodspod and listen to the episode that Andy and I recorded this weekend all about Suicide Club. And we'll have to do that again, man. That was fun as hell.
Oh, totally. Anytime.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, man. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Did y'all hear about Lil Yachty?
No.
Lil Yachty was arrested and charged with reckless driving and speeding on I-75 in Atlanta, according to Georgia State Patrol. And, you read that and you're like, man, I've been pulled over for speeding. I didn't get arrested. And it's like, yo, fuck the cops. And then the next sentence, according to the patrol, Police say his Ferrari F8 was clocked at over 150 miles per hour.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I mean, it kind of proves the point of why would you buy a Ferrari if you live in a city?
I mean, yeah,
It's to drive 150 on the highway.
Yeah. And at a certain point, man, Atlanta, Atlanta's kind of sleepy. They go to bed kind of early. It's like LA. So, yeah, you get on I-75 or get on that perimeter highway there.
You go pretty fast.
I would bet people drive around that fast right next to the highway, right next to us.
Well, I feel like I've seen it before.
Yeah, on a regular, or you hear it. You just hear a real loud engine go by so fucking fast. You're just like, whoa.
Yeah. It's like, come on, man. I don't know. What's the point of being young and cool and having a Ferrari if you're not going to do all that?
You gotta kill yourself or someone else. Why else would you buy a Ferrari?
And Lil Yachty doesn't drink or do drugs.
Yeah, he just eats
claims.
pizza.
Yeah.
Is that his
That's his thing? Yeah, he doesn't eat vegetables.
He says he only eats
pizza.
He only eats pepperoni pizza every meal.
It's kind of an inspiration to me. Honestly.
I was going to say, a little carrot. You stand to learn a lot from Lil Yachty, the man with
Lil Yachty had some good stuff.
Does he still make good music?
No, not now, but
he's on some features.
He's had some good features, but like every new thing he's put out, I'd be like, this is just not very good. But man,
that classic Yachty.
That Little Boat mixtape, God, was it? It had some good stuff.
Yeah, well, dude, just imagine. I mean, he's waiting on a renaissance. At some point he will start eating vegetables, and then we're gonna get a crazy album.
Dude,
That's true. He could reinvent himself.
Imagine how talented he would be.
Dude, think about this. Bob Dylan found electric guitar. The Beatles found psychedelics. Lil Yachty's gonna find zucchinis.
Broccoli.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, this shit's real good.
Turns out my music was so bad because I was malnourished.
He's gonna have to start with vegetables on pizza, I think.
Yeah.
That's a good transition.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be my transition into the vegetables, because I understand as another person. Maybe is Lil Yachty severely autistic? Is that?
Oh, that's a good question. Because autistic people have the thing with food.
That's why I don't eat vegetables. Like, it's the texture. Like,
okay.
They freak me out. I don't like it.
What have you? Because I have a friend who she'd been drinking a little bit, and she was trying to say, I'm weird about food. Like, we were all grilling, and I was like, hey, do you want some of these I think I was grilling peppers or something. Mm-hmm. And she was trying to say, I'm weird about food, but she was kind of drunk, and she goes, hey, I'm a food weird. And so that's now the term for it's so much better than being like, he's a picky eater, because that makes you sound childish. It's way better to be like, oh no, Daniel's just a food weird.
Yeah, I like just saying, no, I'm disabled. It's
that's a great excuse.
Whenever I go because I have friends. Like, I have one friend in particular where, like, he'll get mad at me if we're at a restaurant and I ask, like, if I get a burger and I ask for, like, just ketchup and mayo on it. He'll be like, now they have to take all the stuff off. I was like, how do you think these burgers are made? Like,
they just don't have to put it on.
Exactly. That's what I was I'm like, they're doing less work. He's like, well, you could get more food. I was like, yeah, food I'm not going to eat.
Yeah, food you don't want.
Like, exactly. Like,
what vegetables?
And mayo and ketchup is a great condiment combo on a burger.
You can't do any better. Like, the lettuce just gets in the way. Most fast food restaurants have bad lettuce.
I do like vegetables.
I was going to say.
Sam loves vegetables.
What, if any, vegetables do you fuck with?
Lettuce, if it's not from a fast food restaurant, because they always have, like, that soggy kind of shitty lettuce.
Okay, so you're talking, like, on a sandwich kind of a thing?
I can eat lettuce. Carrots are fine. Green beans, corn, peas, because those are just the vegetables I was supposed to eat growing up.
Okay.
Anything that comes in fried rice.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. He gets it.
There we go. Hey, man, that's my favorite vegetable, too, is fried rice. God damn it.
That's how you learn to eat vegetables in the South.
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah, you just put it in.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was going to get to. Is there's a thing that a lot of people maybe don't necessarily understand about the vegetables in the South, which is that typically they've been stewed in pork for like 12 hours, and they cease to be vegetables. I think at that point, because they
lose all their nutritional value. For sure.
I've learned that I like sautéed onions. If you fry them until they're not a vegetable anymore, I'll eat them. They're fine.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I think that was where I started with onions, actually.
Yeah, because I can't do onions, pickles, tomatoes.
Yeah,
I'm slowly getting there.
Yeah.
I just had strawberries for the first time last year.
Whoa!
And that was pretty. It was a big move for me.
Man, I had a whole strawberry strawberry plant over here.
Yeah.
I could have been having you over for a little
I could have.
strawberry party.
I was high on acid. My friend was like, "Do you want to have a strawberry?" And I was like, "I've never had one of these." And they were like,
Wow.
"How have you never had a strawberry?" And then I cried because it was so good.
Wow.
I didn't actually cry. That's just for the story.
My friend who's my friend Caroline, who's the food weird. She's similar. Like throughout her life, discovers new fruits and vegetables and is like, "Oh
Yes.
shit, I like that." The summer of 2011 was the summer of corn. I remember she was like, she ate it and was like, "This is fucking delicious." I'm like, "Yeah, it's corn,
It's sugar.
It's incredible."
That
So,
corn is pretty good.
but I was trying to get her into, because down south it's all about the peaches, right? At a certain point of the summer, but I as much as I love a good peach, I will actually go to bat for plums too. At that, because they come in, they get ripe at the exact
I
same
thought plums
time.
was just big grapes.
Nah, plums is like it's sort of the color of a grape, but it's more peach-like than anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you like peaches, you probably like plums.
We're learning things. Yeah, I've never had either of those things.
Oh man. Well, so
A lot of
I
stuff
love how you
haven't
just
had.
agreed when you were like, at a certain time in the South, peaches are just the thing. And Daniel just goes, "Yep."
I know that people eat peaches
Yeah.
in the South. I've been to his area of the woods. I know they eat a lot of fucking peaches.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Georgia, that's all they do. Like
Yeah.
they're proud of their peaches
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
the peach state.
and pecans.
Peaches in the summertime,
Pecans.
apples in the fall. If I can't have the
Pecans.
gal I want, I don't want none at all. That's what they say in that old folk song.
Is that what they say? Or is that what you say?
That's Shady Grove.
Rivers is the only one who says that anymore.
But yeah, now that Jerry Garcia's dead, I'm the only one who still
I
knows
know, I
the
know.
words to Shady Grove.
I was trying to remember. I was like, no, that sounds vaguely familiar.
But yeah, I got a hold of some nice ripe plums and met up with Caroline. I was like, all right, and I sliced one up. I was like, because I knew she wasn't gonna fuck with no like peach pit situation, so I like sliced it up just in a regular thing, and then put it on a plate and gave it to her. And she took one bite and she was like, flavor changed on me. So she liked the initial flavor, but I think it was like a little too sour or something at the end. I don't know.
Maybe I have had a plum. Yeah, I might have had a plum once as a kid. And the last time I
Yeah.
had once when I was like 5. And I was
Probably
like, I
had
don't
a-
like this forever.
You probably had
man.
a plum flavored something.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a prune, that'll fuck it up. For
Oh,
you.
that's what it was.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I had prune juice.
Oh yeah,
And
well
that-
that's grody. Yeah,
A lot of stuff is texture based, but because of prune juice, I just can't fucking.
I understand. Yeah. Well, prunes are like prunes are to plums what raisins are to grapes. They're just like the dried up version of
But
that. So.
they should make prune should have been a lot better with their marketing because like they got the California raisins to make
That's the
dried up
word.
grape.
Prune just, it's hard to
Yeah,
make
it
that
doesn't
sound
sound good.
appetizing.
Yeah, so you just think of old men coming out of bathtubs. It's not good.
Yeah, that's true. Because when you're pruny, that ain't good.
You think of the woman in the bathtub in The Shining. You're like, gross.
Yeah, raisins. you
What did
think
they
of-
call it before prunes?
Oh yeah, who knows?
Probably something
Man.
racist.
They should have just called it. Dude, dried plums sounds so much better.
Yeah.
In fact, they
it
could turn their
does.
whole marketing ship around by being like dried plums
But
because
I-
people are like,
Well, I was saying
plums.
like, is the California raisins? They could have like a prune type. California,
Yeah.
the Idaho prune.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
like
I
they're
think-
funky more.
The Georgia prunes. Where
Yeah.
would they be from?
I mean, they grow plums and shit down south, so I don't know. Yeah.
So they'd have to be more of a southern group.
Yeah. They're like Leonard Skinnerd instead of Motown.
Yeah. So California raisins, they were a little too pop.
Yeah.
These guys, they tend to tick.
Where are the North Carolina? Where are the North Kakalaki prunes?
The Prunes would be a good band name.
Well,
I'm sure there is.
There's a great.
There's gotta be.
There's a great garage band from the '60s called the Electric Prunes. So that's the one that I know about.
You know of garage bands from the '60s?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
pretty fucking insane.
Check out.
That's more
Like some high school band from the '60s. Like, yeah, and Mark and Gary up here. Yeah, they all work in accounting now. Like
Lincoln High School 63, dude.
Half of them are
Mom's
dead.
garage.
I mean, kind of, yeah. So-
Kyle quit the band because he had to do geometry overnight.
Dude, yeah, that's kind of. There's a collection. I mean, if for some reason people listening don't know, there's a great collection. It's called Nuggets. It's this. It's a collection of just '60s garage music, and it's considered very influential because all of these, the bands, especially in like the late 2000s late 90s, early 2000s, like the White Stripes and that whole like kind of resurgence of garage rock. A lot of that is because of the box set when they re-released Nuggets, because it's just like you were saying, it's literally guys from like high school and college. When the Beatles came out, it was that effect of everybody was just like,
Wasn't it hard to get in a studio back
That's
then?
what I'm saying. It wouldn't it be
No.
so hard to record music?
No, have you seen? You've seen That Thing You Do, right?
Fuck no.
What? You never seen that movie? Are you aware of that movie?
No,
No.
we rewatched The New Guy. But we're
Yeah,
not gonna
that's
watch
true. We did
that
rewatch
thing.
the new
We're
guy.
not gonna
Again,
watch
we-
That Thing You Do.
That's
Is that
all-
Tom Hanks movie?
Tom Hanks directed
I
it,
think
yeah.
I've seen that actually.
Yeah. You know
it's,
this-
it's
yeah.
like about an actor or something.
No, it's about a band. It's about a
A
garage.
band,
It's about
I'm
a garage
sorry.
band. So that movie is about that like time period of the mid '60s. Because basically the Beatles came out and every child in America was like, "I want to do that." And as far as studio time goes, there was tons of it because
Ah.
everybody's dad knew somebody who knew a guy. They like had mobile recording trucks and stuff like that because
Oh.
Elvis made it. I mean, he made his first record when he was 19, so that was already extant. And then the Beatles came out, and then it went away from solo artists to groups. So there was just a bajillion groups making singles, and usually the single would come out, it would have some amount of success, and then they would break up to go to either Vietnam or college or get married. Like they completely faded into obscurity. But there is this collection called Nuggets that's just all of those bands, and the Electric Prunes, their big song is called "I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night," which it's fucking badass. But if you look at these guys, they're all like, they
I
look like they're
expected this
17.
to end up way more boring than it actually was. I'll give you that, Rivers.
Yeah. So it's very like kind of trippy, like it's supposed to be like the Yardbirds or something up top, and then wait for that drum hit.
For the '60s, that's some pretty like
This whole
is
collection.
that a synthesizer or a guitar.
I think he's running his vocals through the Leslie speaker. It's just the rotating speaker.
That's pretty cool for the. I mean, well, I guess Garcia was doing that already, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't know. That's hard to do.
That fuzzy ass fucking rules.
That's why I listen to the Velvet Underground now.
Yeah, dude, they're in that same boat.
Yeah.
They're that. I had too much to dream last night. Yeah, so that's the Electric Prunes. To answer your question, there was a band called the fucking Prunes.
No, there wasn't.
There was a bunch of high school kids who made two
Yeah.
songs.
Check out Nuggets. It's good shit. Speaking of rock music, I got this is from my friend Adam Condra out of Tuscaloosa, and this is something that just kind of came out, but it was filmed, I think, back at the end of last year at a tribute to Eddie Money. And
Eddie Money's dead?
Eddie Money died, yeah.
What did Eddie Money do?
Baby Hold On to Me, did 2 Tickets to Paradise.
I know that
That's
one.
probably the one most people know. I'm a big fan of Walk on Water, Take Me Home Tonight,
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
Take me home tonight.
Just like a running said. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's a great song.
He died.
Be my little baby.
Fucking-
That's one of the songs that sounds like 3 different songs.
It is,
Like
yeah.
all in one. Like it kind of bothers me, the structure of that song.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like,
Well,
honestly, because it's like at first it sounds like Jesse's Girl, and
Yeah.
then it hits the chorus and sounds like a completely different fucking song.
yeah.
And then
I'm glad he's dead.
But they had a tribute for him, and they had James Hetfield from Metallica, fresh out of rehab,
hell yeah.
doing a cover of Baby Hold On, and it is
Hetfield's been to rehab so many fucking
oh
times.
yeah. I'm gonna play the beginning just so you can kind of hear the tone, but then I'm gonna fast forward to a very specific part because
I don't know if I've heard the song he's covered.
you do. You'll know it when he starts. Hold on to me.
No.
Yeah.
Still down.
Whatever will be, will be.
Yeah. So it's one of Eddie Money's minor hits, but I really just wanted to get to this part because there's he's singing like this the whole time.
On to me.
he's kind of holding back, and you watch for this thing for 3 minutes and 33 seconds, and you're like, man, is he ever gonna like Hetfield it up, and he does not disappoint at all.
Hold on to me tighter. Never gonna leave me now. Never gonna leave me now. Never gonna let you go. So hold on.
He probably just relapsed on heroin. Like the Vicodin he took, he probably just hit. Like,
Here it is.
Whatever will be, yeah.
I was specifically
I know this song now.
Yeah, I was
still
specifically
don't.
waiting for him to make that noise.
When you hold on to me.
maybe if I heard, will you play like a segment of the original song? I need to see if I know this song.
It sounds this version sounds very different.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
This just sounds like James Hetfield relapsing on pills immediately after getting out of rehab.
It does seem like he was like, fuck, I'm really nervous about performing.
Here, well,
I better have a
listen to him
drink.
hit this. Hang on. Listen to him try to hit this high note.
Oh man, that's like worse than me or Daniel trying to sing.
Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to share that.
I'll always get a good James Hetfield shedding. I'll know any day.
Oh, he's a dumbass. It's
It's
great.
hilarious. Yeah. I mean, the original is like, if you knew 2 Tickets to Paradise, this would have been played, probably about half as much.
Oh, okay. I immediately know that guitar riff.
The acoustic version sounds so different and bad.
And bad. That sounded bad.
Hetfield has turned it completely to minor chords. This
Exactly.
This at least resolves itself into a major in the chorus.
Okay, yeah, no, I know this song.
Yeah.
I just couldn't, it was so shitty.
It was
that
hard to
version.
it was hard to
was
decipher. I
like-
couldn't I would have known that song right off the bat instantly. Not this one.
if they-
I had to hear the chorus. This is one of those examples of somebody covering something just out of their wheelhouse completely. Like they shouldn't touch it, but they did.
Yeah, that'd be like if fucking Bruce Hornsby died. If they were like, all right, to play The Way It Is, ladies and gentlemen, Marilyn Manson.
I could,
Marilyn Manson doing The Way It Is.
I think he could pull it off.
I was trying to think of any other Bruce Hornsby song that anybody listening to would know of, because I could name them all.
Yeah. See, that's my blind spot is the old Bruce Hornsby. I kind of know I know that one song, and that's kind of
Really, you should.
I know he's on my list.
You gotta.
Bruce Hornsby and Steve Earle are the two that have
I don't know Steve Earle too well.
I just know they're like the two that they have these massive catalogs that I'm sure I would like, and I've just I'm gonna dig
His
in.
first
at some
two
point.
albums with the Range, you got to get in, and then the Dead in '92, whenever their piano player died, whoever was after Pigpen, I'm sure I'm not his name. Bruce Hornsby filled in for them. So any concert in '92 of the Dead, I think after a certain, it was like a 6-month leg, Bruce Hornsby's with them, and that's some of the best live concerts ever, man.
All right, yeah, I'll give it a try. That's the one.
Fun fact.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's the one I. That's the one I know. It's just the one that Tupac did.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one everybody knows.
Yeah.
And it's the one I can play on piano.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
If I made 8 years ago I could play it on piano. I don't know if I can still play it on piano.
Hey man, that's what they say about Changes by Tupac. It's like riding a bike.
It is a great song, though.
Yeah.
It is.
I got a story from our friend at Bucky the Third. Wines that rock. A winemaker, Andrew Nelson, announced that they're making WWE wine. They got Undertaker wine.
When I saw this, my first thought is Rivers is going to be an alcoholic. Between Dugaritas and this, he's fucked.
This is just him finding ways to transition into alcohol. Look, Rivers, buddy, it's okay. It's
He's
the
been
pandemic.
petitioning for this wine for a long time.
No, it's okay. It's got Macho Man Randy Savage on the bottle.
Dude, well,
Do they have one?
No, they've got it's just Undertaker and fucking Ultimate Warrior. So it's funny because it's a real dead guy and then a guy playing a dead guy is the alcohol brands. This is the quote from the winemaker. For the Undertaker's limited edition 30 barrel series, we use 100% premium Cabernet Sauvignon from Lodi, California, aged in oak. And for the Ultimate Warrior, we look to Mendocino County for a high-quality, full-bodied, and flavored Zinfandel.
Oh, okay. So they just bought wine and put it in a bottle
Yeah.
with the Undertaker on it.
I know the Undertaker actually made this wine. He has a
He
vineyard.
stomped his big ass feet, stomped the grapes.
Yeah.
Of course, they just slapped their name on a bottle of.
I
fucking wine.
figured they actually had their own company.
No, he just has like a giant casket of grapes, and he just keeps like choke slamming people into it to like crush the grapes.
Well, did you hear about this? Cardi B has trademarked the wet ass pussy alcoholic beverage.
Oh, all right. Hey, I'll give it a try.
Every white girl in America, dude. This summer is going to be a great summer for.
If
drunk
we're
white
allowed,
girls.
if we're allowed back out, they're going to be getting extra drunk.
Oh my god,
They're
it's
going to go
be
barkeep
ridiculous.
one wet ass pussy, please.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior bottles will feature 3 unique corks produced with different images and quotes from the WWE Hall of Famer, hand-filled and expertly hand-wax dipped in his signature bright neon colors. And, the Ultimate Warrior is dead now, but he left behind a lot of crazy quotes that they might put on the thing. Here's one. MLK just marched a few times from Selma to Montgomery. It's only 40 miles, and he walked along paved roads with security escorts and modern comfort and conveniences. So they could put that on the thing.
Man, I want to support this man financially.
That's the thing on Ultimate Warrior said. Or maybe this one.
Who's the Ultimate Warrior? Just some old wrestler?
Yeah, he's a wrestler from the 90s.
Who was racist?
Uh-huh.
He was a
Wait,
cokehead. He was a big steroid coke
Yeah,
guy.
so the
So
Ultimate...
everything about him was
So
pretty
you're saying
awesome.
the MLK's walk wasn't that impressive?
Oh, that's not even the...
Is that what
Yeah,
he's
that's what he's
saying?
saying. Yeah. So the Ultimate Warrior, his whole...
I could do that.
Yeah. Well, his whole thing is that he wasn't that good of a wrestler, but he was crazy. And so when he would get in the ring and shit, he would run to the ring and he would shake the fucking ropes and he was a fucking
He
maniac.
was mentally ill.
Yeah, and no, not really. He was just that
He was a cokehead.
That was his
Mentally
persona because
ill.
he wasn't a good wrestler, so he made up for it by being a nut, And but he was also very hard to work with because he's an asshole. So anyway, but what happened is
When I hear stories like this, I'm like, I could be a wrestler.
Yeah, dude, it's
You don't have to be good. You can just act like a nut.
Yeah.
Got that.
I've been doing that in comedy for
Yeah,
years.
both of us. We can start a tag team.
Yeah. But he gets fired from the WWE in the mid 90s, and then for the next basically 20 years is just insane. And he went on all these conservative college speaking tours where he said shit like, quote, "Queering doesn't make the world work. The human race will die out if everyone becomes a homosexual." Which is not how not how that works.
Everyone becomes a homosexual.
That
sure,
he is right about that.
Yeah, if for some reason
If the entire planet
decided.
Yeah.
That's the implication. He's like, well, I mean, if everybody keeps deciding to be gay, it's it's just
as long
it's a thing
as
you're
there's
born
a surplus in
with.
the world of
It's
wet ass
con-
pussies,
yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No, gay is contagious.
That's what he seems to think. But anyway, he comes back to WWE in 2014. They put him in the Hall of Fame, and then he gives a speech on Monday Night Raw about, let the warrior spirit run forever. And then the next day, he died of a massive heart attack in a hotel
Really?
parking lot. And so
From coke?
years of it, yeah, just from having a fucking bad heart from years of
Steroids and blow, not good for your heart, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, but his heart exploded, and here's the thing: this is why WWE is so kind of sinister and fucked up. It's this guy has a long history of saying a bunch of fucked up shit, but now that he's dead, he can't say anything else stupid, so they put him on everything now.
Really?
Yeah, because he's dead. It's this man can't say shit. They own his image. They own his his face paint
His
design
character.
and the character. So yeah, and then but yeah, it was just funny that it was oh, we're gonna put some of Ultimate Warrior's quotes on the wine, and I was thinking, oh, when he said, those people in Hurricane Katrina, it was nothing more than rearranging furniture. If we could be shown what general conditions they lived in before the storm, we would see that they had little respect for what they did have.
He's one of those
Jesus
classic
Christ.
racists who think black people are always complaining.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
That's the rest of that quote is literally him being like, they just sit there and get everything for free and they just won't stop bitching about it.
Out of all of my friends, the ones who complain the least, black guys.
Right.
Like, by far.
And their complaints usually legitimate.
It's usually like, hey, man, they keep killing people that look like me. And
Yeah.
it's like, quit complaining.
You're still alive.
But I did look up this company just because it's called Wines That Rock, and I was like, well, what does that mean, you know? And
What wines do?
man,
Rivers,
I
please
can't
tell
wait
us
for
what
this.
wines rock.
they have Pink Floyd wine. They've got Grateful Dead wine. They've got
I'm on board.
They've got Rolling Stone wine, of course. They've got like basically just all of the classic rock things that your dad likes.
They got
wine.
some big corporations
Yeah, that's
involved in all
big
of that.
licensing money.
Oh, yeah. But these are the ones that I pulled because these are funny. They have one called the Wine ID Club. ID being Investigation Discovery, which is that true crime channel. It's that true crime channel that, like, you know, it's real popular. So some of those wines-
There is a like a thing about watching murder shows and drinking wine, watching horrifying, gruesome things that should make you
Oh,
depressed,
that'd be a good
and
night,
then having
yeah.
a good little time with it.
If I was watching, like, if I came downstairs and people were watching Identity Discovery, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? They'd be like, you want a glass of wine? I'd be like, what the fuck's going on?
It says week after week, tens of millions of viewers are glued to their TV screens watching ID's riveting mysteries and
They
suspenseful
say
programs.
Tens of millions.
Hey, I mean,
If you count
I'd buy it.
if you count the whole week,
Yeah, if you count the whole week, I'd buy that 100%.
Really? That many people?
Because
still
think
watch
about
TV?
who
people love these shows.
I was about to say, think about who has cable now in 2020, and what Venn diagram intersection there would be of people who have cable and watch these types of shows. People who have TV, this is the shit
I
they
mean,
watch.
my family has cable. That's all they watch.
Yeah,
We have the Spectrum app on our Roku.
Do we have
and-
ID?
I don't know if they have ID. You can get ID on the antenna, I think.
Ooh.
But they show like the same 3 shows on every channel because it's just the ones that get ratings.
Right,
Discovery Channel only shows Deadliest Catch.
Uh-huh.
What are the other ones?
Pawn Stars still. They still
All day.
fucking
Pawn
put
Stars,
that show
American
out.
Pickers.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Hoarders.
Some of these wines, by the way, Motives and Merlot.
Spooky.
There's one called My Merlot. Which
I can't get on. I'm not on board
Sounds
with
like
that
George Takei one. My.
I can't. It's somebody's signature wine. I assume it's one of their hosts, who I guess that's his catchphrase. And there's also one called A Wine to Remember, and another one called Fear Thy Neighbor.
What?
So that's the
That's
ID
probably
Club.
a show or something.
Yeah, the one that I found the most intriguing. There is a couple of 50 Shades of Grey wine.
Oh boy.
And then also
These are just for old horned up women and weird nerds.
oh
Yeah, which is really the same. I think that demographic could get together.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm so happy you said weird nerds for the last group, which is the NPR Wine Club.
Imagine me. Look, man. Sometimes I feel like a fucking loser, but imagine you're like, what if there was an IRA class?
I mean, it's on the
Yeah.
same level as being like, I wonder if there's a Rolling Stones wine. It's like the same
people.
It's the
yeah.
same amount of fucking lame.
Yeah. Those kinds are Weekend Edition,
Oh my god.
Uncorked, Invinobilia, which I guess is a takeoff on Invisibilia, and then finally, All Grapes Considered.
That's not a very good pun even.
That doesn't even make sense. Yeah,
No.
it's like
they're using the same wine. All of these.
oh,
are
100%.
the
It's
same wine.
the same swill.
Just different labels.
They just have one. They have
for a label.
They probably have 3 gigantic vats. One is white, one is fucking Zinfandel, one
How
is
much is a
Merlot.
bottle of this fucking wine?
Oh, I bet it's at least 20, 25
Well,
bucks.
I bet more.
Probably because of all the they have to pay for the.
hundreds.
No, I bet it's like 30
I'm gonna
max.
Let's see.
The people who are drinking Ultimate Warrior wine are not gonna. They're not gonna fucking really open their wallet.
Well, you don't
too
think
much.
people who are really into wrestling and have nothing else have a bunch of available
true.
income?
That
You
could
don't
be
think
true.
that's? You don't think?
Okay.
Rivers, how much? How much would it have to cost for you to not buy this bottle of wrestling wine? What's your cap off here?
Because you are a food collector.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know about the wrestling wine, but I'll just say I think that is probably a little more pricey because they've got it's wax dipped and it's numbered. So I'd assume they
it's very limited.
yeah,
edition.
it's like the kind of shit you buy and then just never open. But just just generally, if you wanted Daniel, if you wanted a bottle of Rolling Stones wine, it's a bottle is $19.99.
I guess that's not that bad. I guess I have to take back everything.
Because
I said.
there's no way people would spend more because they know it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
I mean,
they want the bottle. 100%. They just want the bottle.
People spend so much money on stupid shit. I just could see
Yeah.
them getting away with murder.
I think their thing is we're going to go with quantity.
Oh yeah. They just it's like I said. It's
They're
just,
selling shit that's probably worse than Yellowtail. It's really interesting to start an alcohol company and being the quality doesn't matter in any way.
just
People are buying this for the sticker on the
dude,
bottle.
It's like the wrap snacks of fucking
Yeah.
liquor. Wrap snacks, not very good.
no,
they're
usually not.
okay.
There's one good one, two good ones maybe.
The honey barbecue one's all right.
Oh shit. Okay, so it's for 2 bottles to get 1 Undertaker and 1 Ultimate Warrior. It's $100 plus shipping.
So $50.
$50 a pop.
And
yeah.
does it say how many bottles they make total?
Probably somewhere.
Are
on
you
here.
gonna get these bottles of wine, Rivers?
That's expensive. But Rivers does have expendable
That's
income.
exactly what I'm saying. Because some nerds, they don't do drugs or drink. They just watch wrestling. Maybe at max they'll smoke a gram of weed a month. That's the most somebody in this camp would ever spend on anything outside of their bills and food. So you bet your ass he's
Do you think
he's about
Undertaker's
to put his credit card information into the
Do you
computer
think
right now?
Undertaker gets a good cut of this?
I wouldn't. Well, that's the thing is I'm only gonna have to spend $50 because I'm not getting the damn Ultimate Warrior wine because fuck the Ultimate Warrior.
Unless he said something. What
that's-
they put his most what they put his most racist quote on?
Well,
the
no,
bottle,
but
then?
here's
Would you get it.
Here's the bad part, right? Is that the danger here with the Undertaker wine is that the Undertaker is all about some Blue Lives Matter shit as far as, but he's never
just as
said
bad.
it. He's never said it, but he always wears those American flags with the blue fucking thing.
So he's bad,
Yeah.
but he doesn't publicly say racist things.
I
So
guess I just assume
I'm clinging to plausible deniability that the Undertaker's not a shithead.
When you're from the South, you have to.
it's all that's all of our heroes.
most white professional athletes are probably shitheads.
It's unfortunately
because
true.
they grew up in a lot of them grew up in conservative households.
Yeah,
and you
super
have to,
privileged situations.
You have to have money to get to a wrestling camp, to get to a basketball or a football camp.
Yeah, football's expensive.
If you're just some whitey who's not, if you're not talented,
I'm thinking about it. I want them to, if they put out I want a Mick Foley,
you
for
get
instance.
a Mick Foley wine.
Because Mick Foley is just
he racist?
He's just a great human being. He volunteers a shitload of his time to the RAIN, the women's abuse hotline.
Oh, that's nice.
He's a fucking he's a liberal guy. He's a nice guy. So if they come out with some damn Mankind wine, the name is right there. Dude, it'd be dope, and it would probably have a flannel wrapper, and it would come with some leather straps, his face mask and shit to go around it.
We gotta pitch this.
what was the name of the wine company?
Wines that rock.
Look, wines that rock. This is Goods from the Woods podcast.
You know what rocks? NPR. You know what rocks? Robert Siegel.
You know, rocks shows about babies getting murdered.
I love Steve Inskeep.
Now just imagining I did one of those shows and then I walked in and my wife was strangling our baby.
What a time to
wines that rock.
What a time to uncork a red.
Hand me the Merlot funnel, honey. My murder shows is on.
I would start drinking again just to taste how shitty this wine is.
Dude, well, when
It doesn't
Bucky...
count if it's wine. That's
yeah,
what the
it's
Catholics
true.
say.
I'll spit it out.
an official wine
I don't think
tasting.
you want to finish it.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to swallow at the wine tasting. They give you a thing to spit it out in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's your fucking week.
No, it's because you'll get like blackout drunk like fucking an hour
Oh
in.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Well, especially if you go to any of those like vineyards up in like Napa and shit, they're all up these windy ass mountain roads.
Then
It's like,
you
dude,
swallow like every third sip.
yeah,
If you get a good one, yeah, I would swallow it.
absolutely. The last thing I had to cover, somebody sent this to us at Gromzark. He's the guy who was saying he wore the Russian hat into 7-Eleven, and the guy was like, "We used to shoot at the Russians."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy rules.
Yeah, he rules. Shout out to Gromzark. He says, hey, a few weeks back, you were talking about video game butt rock music, and I figured I'd send you to the Tribes 2 theme by Motley Crue.
Ooh.
Do y'all know about... Do you guys know?
I vaguely remember Tribes.
I used to play Tribes.
Okay,
a
so
little bit.
Motley Crue and Tribes too.
Tell me what Tribes is, because I actually have not played this game, and I didn't have time to look up what it is.
It's like a first-person shooter that had it was one of the first-person shooters to have like a lot of players in the online mode.
That's what I remember.
And I believe it might have had vehicles too. It definitely like you had a jetpack, so you could jump and fly a little bit.
Was this like
and it was just a
Xbox,
shooter.
PlayStation 2
This
era?
I had it on computer.
Okay.
And I think it might have just been they might have made some ports, but I think it was a
So
computer
what
game.
year
mostly.
do you think this was?
Probably around the 2000s.
Yeah, it's early 2000s, I think.
So I'm just trying to get a gauge of what era Motley Crue.
Oh yeah,
it's
the era nobody
post-
wanted.
yeah, it's when they were showing up
so
on
1990,
1999. Yeah, way.
no, 1989.
Way past the expiration date for sure. So he says it is the best / worst theme in history with very deep lyrics that show how the band did their research into what the game was about. It was supposed to be the theme of the game, but the deal fell through. But the song was leaked, so no one was supposed to hear this. Apparently, somebody in this video game company took their computer in to be repaired, and the person was like, "Ooh, Motley Crue," and just leaked it on the internet.
Well, here's what I could tell you. What just my theory from the deal went through, and before even hearing the deal didn't go through. They asked Motley Crue to make a song. They made a song. It was terrible, and they're like, "We don't think this is going to work out." And then they put it up on the internet to mock Motley Crue. And I bet Tommy Lee was a giant douchebag the whole time to them, and they were.
I bet they all were. I bet all four of them were.
Yeah, all of them are pieces of shit. I just couldn't remember any of the other. Who else is in that?
Nikki Sixx,
Vince Neil, right?
Nikki Sixx, Vince Neil, Tommy Lee, and Mick Mars.
Four most untalented, well, just mediocre fucking musicians to ever hit mainstream success. I hate Motley Crue so much.
Before I play this, I wanted to read. This is a quote from Nikki Sixx. This is from May 22nd, 2000. So that's when this game came, or this is when it was being developed. This is from IGN.com.
2000. That was when Motley Crue was going to hit their resurgence.
They were coming back.
People are like, where are they?
I bet they genuinely, because think about it, in 2000, this was probably 15 years removed from Dr. Feelgood. So they're probably still like, hey, Dylan had a little comeback in the 80s. Fucking, it's possible.
Why not us?
They're probably like, shit, we all need money real bad.
Cocaine is expensive.
Hey, Nikki, I think we're running out of blow, man. I think that's probably what happened.
I bet also what happened is they wanted to offer them a really low amount of money to make the song.
But way more money than it was
and
worth.
then Motley Crue was like, no, we want more money. And then they're just like, no, absolutely
They probably
not.
wanted the rate they would have gotten in 1987.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to read this quote, and then we got to hear this. So this is from Nikki Sixx. He says, quote, Sierra came to us with Tribes 2, and it was very up Motley Crue's alley. It was a high energy, very intense game.
He had no idea what he was talking about.
And he says, we actually wrote music specifically for the game, as well as taking a few tracks off of our new album and putting it in there too. We're extremely excited about it. And now they're actually going to digitize us and put us in the game.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
He says, we watched them test the game, and then we set out to create music to match the energy of the game. We wrote a song called Tribes, and it's got this fucking amazing guitar riff and this big vocal hook, and Randy's got this tribal tribal drum thing happening. Now we're going to dissect it and reconstruct it really fucked up so it's really aggressive sounding. We're excited because it's Motley Crue, but it's like Motley Crue on steroids.
So here's what happened. They were like, oh man, we need somebody to do the theme song. We don't got a lot of money. Motley Crue, that'd be cool. They're a rock and roll.
One
This is
of
a rock
them
and roll
like
game.
did
And
blow with Mickey Mars in the back room the night before. They're like, dude, I know him. I fucking know the dude.
And then all of Motley Crue showed up. They didn't have anything going on, and they were
schedules open.
They were just watching them make the game. They're like, "We won't be in the game."
Yeah.
And then they were like, "They're gonna digitize it." Like some programs like, sure, you can be in the game,
Dude,
Like-
I want to read Gromzark's one sentence of his letter one more time, and then we're going to play it. He says, it's the best worst theme in history with some very deep lyrics that show how the band really did their research into what the game was about. So without further ado, this is Tribes by Motley Crue.
Not bad.
That's a sick riff. I'll give him that.
It's better than I thought it would be.
Those drums are not tribal in the slightest. Well, I guess that's a little tribal. Well, no, it's not. It's just using toms.
For a theme song, it's almost perfect.
Is it just tribes?
It is indeed. The whole time.
This is a great vocal hook.
I wonder why the deal didn't go through.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's weird though because it is better than I thought it would be, like instrumentally.
Yeah. It's also funny because Tribes, like the sort of game it was, as I remember it, this sort of song wouldn't even really fit. It was kind of like a futuristic space type shooter.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the games. I was on the fence whether to praise this or decry this because I was like, either Motley Crue is dumb as fuck and stupid and a bad band, and they made this and thought it was good, which that's funny. What's funnier is if these people were like, dude, we love Motley Crue, and they backed the Brinks truck up, and this is what they pooped out.
Yeah,
that's
that would
funnier.
I think it was probably
I do
a
think
mix.
they
I bet there was a couple fans.
They definitely went into the studio like, man, we do not give a fuck about this.
Like Nikki Sixx is the only one who's excited about this.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his quote makes it sound like, dude, we were so jazzed, but clearly
he wasn't there when they laid the vocals, or wrote them.
He just went in, did a bass line, and then went and did a bunch of blows. Like, man, we're so excited about this song. Those dudes
Cashed
don't
a check,
hang out anymore.
went straight to his drug dealer's house.
That's the thing about famous bands. It's like, what's your, like, the Rolling Stones? I don't want to compare Motley Crue to the Rolling Stones. Once you become so famous, like, those dudes don't hang out.
Yeah.
You're not going to see, like, oh, shit, Nikki and Tommy Lee were just at the bar together the other night. Like, no, they see each other when the studio sessions are happening and when they're on tour, and they don't say a goddamn word to one another.
I just love where he says, it's got this amazing riff and this big vocal hook.
Yeah, the vocal hook.
That's the funny part.
Tribes. Fucking outstanding. My God.
I don't even know if this counts as butt rock. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah,
I mean, definitely, I'm glad he sent this to us. But
This is truly...
This is something else. This is like some hardcore grunge, fucking metal.
I just love thinking about him just sitting there, just being like, we fucking did it.
The best
y'all.
part is there would be a bunch of shitheads who legit love this song. I could see fucking in certain parts of the country a mosh pit just breaking out instantly when they hear that first riff. Is it just the comments just making fun of the song?
The comments are just people roasting it. Just people being like, hey, does anyone have the lyrics for this?
Got him.
Boom.
I think
Fuck
what
you, Crew.
happened was they wrote a song for their album, for their big 2000 comeback, and then they just erase the vocals
This is a good
and
theory.
had them redo add some different vocals.
Yeah, they probably still got paid for
This
it.
sounds like a different song that they just added the word tribe to. Because this song's not bad. I refuse to believe they put that much energy into making the song sound cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I do think sometimes the band, like a lot of times the vocals get written after the song in rock music. So I bet they were like, damn, we just did a good job. And then fucking Vince Neil or ever comes and he's like, fuck.
I just think of the guy who designed the game just getting this and just being like, wait, this is it?
Yeah,
like being
the
so
sound
mad.
department being like, fuck, we have to show this to everybody.
Fucker. No, this is awful. Yeah, I choose to
probably
believe
had a
it's,
good laugh.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm choosing to believe it's a where'd the cheese
Tribes.
go situation. Do you know about that? I think we talked. We had a. Goddamn, were you on the episode with Raj Desai back in the day?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Raj is cool though.
I love Raj Desai. He worked at a Pizza Hut, and I mentioned that my favorite band, Ween, got hired to write a commercial for Pizza Hut,
Oh, I know this song.
and and he did. They came up with just
Where did cheese go? I don't know.
just basically trolling Pizza Hut. This is the whole
This
song.
is the stuffed crust.
Yeah, it was the insider crust pizza, where like the pizza was like it was like a whole stuffed pizza.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was great.
You remember this?
oh, yeah.
The insider crust.
I think they brought it back at some point.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, they sent that in, and
If
of course,
they did it in the 2000s, I had it.
yeah, it was early 2000s. They
Oh,
sent
then my family had it.
they sent that in, of course, and then Pizza Hut fired them, and so they sent them back the retooled version.
The motherfucking cheese go at? I don't know. Where the motherfucking cheese go at? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they told them to change it, and then they sent them this, and then they fired them. I believe was the story. So, and anyway, I'm choosing Motley Crue to.
It's crazy that they would hire Ween.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
mean-
should know what you're getting.
Yeah, I mean they write some hooky ass songs, but it is weird to be like, I don't know, sell some pizza.
Yeah, they write hooky ass songs, but not for advertising.
Yeah,
They're
that's
more
true.
about doing whippets and
Yes, yeah, that's true. Sam, where can people find you online?
slam harder.
Daniel, tell people where they can find you.
I'm Magden Daniel. You can listen to my podcast, Reefer Sadness.
Yeah.
Available on all platforms. You can keep leaving those wacky reviews.
Yeah.
I didn't do an episode last week. Kind of have a midlife crisis. We'll figure it out.
He's
Probably-
about to turn 24.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
it's bad. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Hey, listen, heed the words of Neil Young, 24 and there's so much more.
That's wise.
That's what he said.
That's wise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Well,
But-
well, before Daniel does that, leave him a weird review. Whoever's got the wackiest damn review, don't cuss because Apple Podcast doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But,
Cussing isn't wacky.
yeah, it's not wacky.
It's
leave him
not.
a wacky
Bad.
review.
You gotta be wacky, and don't just call me bad.
Well, it's got to be
He
funny.
gets
I'm-
enough of that
I'm
offline.
Whoever's got the best one is I'm gonna mail him a T-shirt. So think about me. Well,
Do this for Rivers.
do
Rivers
it.
is doing me a favor, so you're doing Rivers.
Talk
a
about
favor.
what your favorite rock star wine is to
Yeah,
drink when
something
listening
like
to
that.
Reefer Sadness.
Yeah, it don't just like if you I'm not one to just like shit on Daniel. I mean, I do think it's funny sometimes.
It's a
but,
good time.
But
People
tend to
like it
enjoy
too
it.
much, maybe.
Yeah.
but anyway,
It's
right?
a common theme in my life.
Yeah. Well, anyway, write something zany, and whoever's got the most entertaining one in a couple weeks will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you Goods from the Woods.
You know
t-shirt.
what? If you could make an account saying that you're Chrissy Teigen, model/actress Chrissy Teigen.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then say, this is my favorite podcast ever since I had sex with Daniel. I can't stop listening to this podcast. And you can do that, make that happen.
Oh, okay.
You win in my book.
There we go.
Probably not really. But you won't actually win, but you'll win my heart.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's our program. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley, and we'll see you